Number of ways to paint n into 3 grid. You have a grid of size n into 3 and you want to paint each cell of the grid with exactly one of the three colors. That can be red, yellow, or green, while making sure that no two adjacent cells have the same color. That means you need to make sure that no two cells share the vertical or horizontal sides have the same color. Given n the number of rows of the grid, return the number of ways you can paint the grid. As the answer may grow large, the answer must be computed to modulo 10 power 9 plus 7. So in this case, we got our first example where we have only n is equal to 1, and when we have only one row, there are 12 possible ways for you to color the grid. So before we go into the problem, we need to understand a few things in this case. The first thing that you need to know is there are no two adjacent cells that should have the same color. And you should also remember that the size of the grid is going to be n into 3. Okay? That resembles that you can only have 3 columns no matter how many rows you're given. Over here, we got two types of ways to fill colors into a grid. The first way that you can fill these three colors, red, yellow, and green, is by having all of them a different color. You can have R, YG, that means red, yellow, and green color. And for type B, that is two same colors and one different color. That is, your middle one can be a different color, and your the two sides can have the same color. But you can't do this because no two near cells must have the same color. So there are two type of ways that you can fill the colors in your grid. Now this is a very important point that you need to note. You can see over here in the picture that there are two ways that they fill the color. One way is to use all the three colors, and another way is to have two different colors on either of the sides to have the same color and the middle one to be the different color. So before we hop onto the coding, we need to know how many possible ways to get for one row. Okay, for one row, you need to know how many possible ways that you can paint the color. The reason we find it for already have computing for one row is this is going to be a complete DP approach. Okay, so we need to have at least one answer already known so that from that answer you can compute for all the other rows. So when there is only one row, this is how you compute. So when there is only one row, there are only one row and you have three columns. You have only one row and you're going to paint it. So now you need to tell me how many ways that if I give you three colors, how many ways you can paint this row. For example, on the first column, you can either choose red color, the yellow color, or the green color. So first thing, we'll see the type A, where we decide to fill all of the three rows with different colors. For the first one, I'm going to choose the red color. When I choose the red color, the next column shouldn't have the same color. So it shouldn't have the same color as red. So what are the remaining colors? yellow, and green. You can choose either yellow or you can choose either green but not red. So we can have two possible colors to choose from. So I'm going to choose yellow. And the last one, you'll have only one color to choose from because this is type A and you want all of the three colors to be different. You can choose only one color, that's green, so I'm going to choose green. Now when I do the calculation for type A, where we have all three different colors, 3 into 2 into 1, we have 6 ways. 3 into 2 into 1. To make it more simple and understandable, we're doing permutations. We are finding how many ways you can fill this one row with colors but have different colors. This is one of the type that you can fill this first row, one row. Now for the type B, I've already mentioned that you can choose that you have to have same color on either of the side and the different color for the middle one. So as usual, we start off with first column filling with any of these three colors. You can choose any one, red, yellow, or green. I'm going to go with red color. Now for the second choice, you are left with only two colors as you cannot fill the red one. You can either choose yellow color or the green color, and I decided to go with the green. Now we have to remember a very important point when it comes to type B. When it comes to type B, the first color that you choose to fill should be the same color that you choose to fill the last row, the last color. So I decided to go with red because you shouldn't have the different colors on either of the sides. So you have only one way to fill this. But you got 3 ways to fill this, you got 2 ways to fill this, and you got only one way to fill this. So 3 into 2 into 1, you got another 6 ways to fill this. Now type A and type B together added together, we got 12 ways to just fill this one row with colors, making sure that no two adjacent cells have the same color. So we got 12 ways to do this. Now that we have found the first row, it is far easy to do the other next rows. So first row we found we got 12 ways to do it. Now what happens if we have 2 rows or 3 rows? What happens if a value of n is 2 or the value of the value is 3 and it grows and grows? But remember the columns aren't. So we will have a 2 into 3 grid or a 3 into 3 grid. Now that we know how to do for row 1, once you know how to do for row 2, then coding this is pretty simple. So over here we got row 1, which can be filled in 2 ways. So you can fill this in 6 ways and this too in 6 ways. But do you know how you can fill the next rows? The next rows can be filled either in A type or in B type. Or you can fill the B, if you fill the first row in B type, you can either fill it in the A type or the B type. To show you how 2 rows will look like, this is how they look like. So 2 rows stacked on top of each other, and you need to make sure that this row and this one are not the same color. This one and this one are not the same color. This one and this one are not the same color. You need to make sure that one as well as you need to make sure that 2 adjacent cells are not the same color. And these 2 cells are not the same color. You need to make sure that. So your ways of filling the colors for second rows may differ. Now to start off, first I'm going to try to fill colors using these type. First, let's have 3 different colors for the first row and the second row can also have 3 different colors. So when I say that the first row can have 3 different colors, the second row can also have 3 different colors, we're going to choose the first color. As the first color is R, you have 2 possible ways to choose this color. You can either choose yellow color or you can either choose a green color. Let me choose the yellow color. When I choose this yellow color, the second one, you have another possibility. You can either choose only one color. I'm sorry. The reason you can choose only one color for this one is because you got here a green color. You got here green color, so you can't have a green color over here. And you go to yellow color over here, so you can't have an yellow color as well. So we got YR, and we got green color already there. So this is not possible to fill up. So I'm going to choose the first color to be a green color. When I choose the first color to be a green color, I'm going to choose the next color to be a red color and the next color to be an yellow color. Now this will not clash up. So that is one way you can do. And you can do it another way as well. You can choose the yellow color to be the first, and then you can choose red color to go with that. I'm so sorry. You can choose the green color to go with that, and you can choose the red color as the end color. So you can see over here that they don't match. Red, yellow, yellow, green, green, red. So they don't match. So we got 2 ways to fill this. We got only 2 ways to fill this. Alright? I'm going to show you why. Because only this one, you can choose only 2 ways. You got to choose this. And the other 2 colors, you can have only one way. You can have only one way to choose. Otherwise, you're going to get this colors to be same. So 2 into 1, you have only 2 ways to fill colors. Over the next one, I'm going to show you how to do in B type. In B type, as you already know, that we should have 2 colors the same. So over here, I can't choose a red color or a green color as they are the adjacent colors. So I can have only the yellow color as my 2 adjacent colors, and the same way I can have only yellow color. Now I can choose any color, red color, or I can choose a green color to be in the middle. So over here on the right hand side, I have only one way to choose the colors. I can choose only one color as all my adjacent sides have 2 different colors. I can have only one way to choose them. But in the middle, I can have 2 ways to choose. So this also brings me to choose 2 ways. So when I have type A, when I got type A, for the first row, I can fill them in 6 ways. And when I got type A on the second row, on type A for the second row as well, I can choose 2 ways to color it. So that gives me 6 and so we got 6 into 2 plus I'll be doing this and show you type B. So we got 6 into 2 and then type B. So when we got type A 6 ways, and then we'll have type B When we choose to do the second row for type B, we'll have two ways to do it. So we got another 6 into 2. So 12 plus 12, we got 24 ways to fill this problem, where we have this. When we choose our first row, when we choose, I'm sorry, um, okay, so when we choose our first row to be type A and the second row to be type A or type B, we have 24 ways to do it. Now that we got this one, now let's try to do type B. What if our first row is made up of type B? When our first row is of type B, you can either have your second row to fill in 3 different colors or the same way as having 2 sides adjacent. Now for the A, you can either fill green as your first color, and then you can go ahead and fill red as your second color and Y as your third next color. So you have 2 ways to fill the first one, and the other 2 you have only 1 way. So you can fill it either 2, this one a 1, and this one 1. Okay. Now another way that you can actually do is that you can choose yellow color to be the first one, and you can go ahead with red color for the second one, and the green color to be the third one. You can see over here that they don't match. Red, yellow, yellow, red, red, green. So we have got 2 ways to fill the first one, and the second ones have only 1 ways to be filled. Now that we got the B type, you can also have your second row to have a B type. To do this, what you have to do is you can have it like this. You can have it the green color. Let's choose a green color and let's have it at the adjacent sides. And you can choose the red color to go in between them. Another way that you can do this is the red color on both of these sides. Oh, I'm so sorry, you can't do that. You can actually do yellow color on both of these sides, and you can choose the red color to go in between. Another way that you can do this is you can choose no, you can't do that. Yeah, wait, you can do that. You can choose, you can choose yellow color to be both of these sides, and you can choose the green color to be in the middle. And you might notice one thing over here, that we got 3 ways to solve this problem. We got 3 ways, guys. We got 3 ways. How did we get 3 ways? Now, in this case, you can notice a different thing. You can notice that we can either choose 2 colors to be filled here, other than the red one. And this one also, you can either choose like a 2 colors to fill. And this one also, you can either think of 2 colors to be filled, like either green or yellow, like that. There is no difficulties for you to fill the next colors. But there are 3 ways: this one, and this one. So there are 3 ways to be filled. For this one, we got 2 ways we can fill the colors. So to calculate type B, when you got type B, we can either have type A to be filled the next row, or we can have type B filling the next one. Type A. Type B has, when it's a first row, it has 6 ways to be filled. So 6 into 2, and we got 6 into 3. So 6 twos are 12, and 6 threes are 18. So together, we got 30 ways to fill. Yeah, 30 ways to fill it. Now that we got both of these, at final we add both of them. So we simply go and add both of them. 30 and 24, we got 54 ways to fill the colors that have 2 rows. So this is how you perform the dynamic programming. You don't actually store them in arrays. Instead, we just use the pre-computed values and we just calculate it. So over here, we got the AS6 and BS6. Type A, we have 6 ways, and type B, we have 6 ways. And the modulus, we got 10 power 9 plus 7. We got the mod, so that whenever it exceeds the mod value, we can just reduce it back by doing a modulus with the calculation. And we do not need to calculate for row 1, so we didn't include it on our iteration. We only start from the second iteration till the n number of iterations that we need to do.